I guess thanks for having me. I'm super excited, I guess, to share like what I have found to work, and then maybe pick your brains too with things that you guys are finding to work, because I always feel like I can learn something with every call and opportunity. So, Lauren, where do you want me to start? What do you want me to start with sharing first?
I mean, if you want, I don't know if everyone knows like how you started your story, but just, you've obviously had success and just, I guess, reflecting now, like your biggest tips and takeaways. We have some new coaches who are ready to like go with the business.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, any,
Okay.
advice or things you can offer.
So I'll give like a quick summary of how I started and kind of things that I've learned along the way and where I'm at now and what I have found to be important. Yes, Miss Amy's on there. Say hi. Right there in the middle. She's waving. Oh. Okay, go. Shh, quiet. I'm on solo duty. So I think one of the things that I appreciate most is the flexibility of coaching, honestly. But I started as a discount coach. I know everybody's kind of well, there's a lot of similar stories out there, but I just really wasn't feeling well as far as my digestion, and I had really bad migraines, and I couldn't lose the last like 10 pounds. And I just wanted something different out of my life. I was super frustrated working out like 15 hours a week, and I just couldn't get a handle on my nutrition. So when Sarah invited me, first and foremost, be patient with people, because I was the person that made her wait 6 months, and she kept inviting me. And I remind myself of that every time I do an invite, or I hear a no, or I hear nothing. I always like, oh, hang on, I'm hearing myself. Can you mute everybody, Lauren? And then, because otherwise I just hear me. Okay, thanks. So I always remind myself, like, think about what was going through my head when I was approached with the opportunity to join a challenge group and to try the 21-day fix, and how I had a lot of obstacles that I had to overcome in order to say yes. I had financial issues that were a problem for me. I had the mom guilt issues where I didn't think that I was entitled to spend $140 on myself. So whenever I approach somebody, I just kind of take a step back. And I think patience is like one of the saving graces in this business, just being patient and honestly being patient and continuing relationships after you hear no is something that I always do. I always follow up with people maybe a month or two later, but I always keep that in mind. So when I first started, I never participated in a challenge group. I wasn't interested in coaching. I just wanted to get my hands on the product, and I did it myself with my husband, and that was it. I would text Sarah if I had a random question, but I didn't ever really experience a challenge group. And so when I found success and people started asking me what I did differently, because they'd seen me at the gym for 4 years and nothing really ever changed. And then all of a sudden in 1 month, it was like, wow, like you lost 13 pounds. What just happened? And so they started asking. So I opened a challenge group. And over the last year and a half, I've really kind of changed everything about my life. I've changed my relationships with my family. I've been able to really put myself out there and open up about things that I have had happen to me in the past with a history of abuse. That all that stuff that was masked by the physical struggles that I was having, that I never really was able to address in my life, kind of came not from the products, but from coaching. And that's what I want to share, like for new coaches on there, is that you really don't know what it's going to do for you until you just open your mind and kind of embrace the opportunity to share who you are as a person, and not just that, you drink Shakeology. Like, nobody cares that you drink Shakeology. And we hear it all the time. It's not what you do, it's why you do it. And I think one of my biggest tips that I tell my coaches is you have to share who you are as a person. And a really simple exercise to do that is to ask somebody on your team or somebody in Legendary to go on your personal page and have them tell you 3 things about you, but they shouldn't know you before that. And if they can't tell you 3 things about who you are as a person, like, do you like running? Are you a coffee drinker? Do you have kids? Are you a hockey mom? If they can't identify who you are on your personal page, then you're not sharing who you are. You're just sharing, like, maybe you did the 21-day fix cardio extreme today, but they don't know anything else about you. So that's kind of one of the exercises that I will tell people to do. And that actually stemmed from when I started doing it to shop for my team on Etsy. I like to personalize gifts now. And I went on somebody's page last month that won Success Club. And instead of doing Beachbody swag, I wanted to do something different. And I couldn't pick a gift and she's been a coach for a couple months now. I don't know anything about her. Like, she's got a like page and I still don't know anything about her. So I feel like people don't buy things because you do them. They buy things from you because they can relate to who you are as an overall person. And it's obviously, we're not here to sell things, but it is a sales opportunity. It's a business opportunity. So my thing also is I want to work with the people that are like me. So I have finally been able to decide on my brand, and it took a really long time. Like, I was kind of throwing darts blindly with invitations. Like, I would just like, anybody. Okay, you want to lose weight? Okay, great. But the more you identify with your challengers, the easier your challenge groups are to run, in my opinion, like, because you can have other conversations besides just, oh, I did my workout. And I think that my team is developing really strong coaches from the challenge groups, because we're becoming like a Facebook family. I don't know how else to explain it, but we talk to each other all the time. Like, I have people that I can rely on for different situations that I'm struggling with, whether it's an issue with my mom, or an issue with food, or maybe I, need some fitness motivation, or whatever it is. I have developed all these relationships in these challenge groups. So I actively participate in my challenge groups, and I don't just log my food, I participate. And I think that's another one of my top tips is when you run a challenge group, it doesn't have to take you, like my challenge groups, unless I'm doing nothing and I'm just kind of playing on my phone, which is rare, but now that they're in school, I have a little bit more time. But my challenge groups really don't take me longer than 15 minutes. So what I do for my challenge group specifically is, can you stop that, please? Thank you. I log in the morning and I put something in the challenge group that I'm working on or that I've learned from personal development that I think would help them, or maybe, a fitness motivation, because that's usually what I'm doing in the morning. But I don't read through the group at that point, because that like bogs down my time. So I just finished the book, Miracle Morning. Has anybody read Miracle Morning? Like, I love it. And I feel like I have so much less stress in my day if I do my power hour in the morning, and I'm pretty consistent with that now. And so I don't really spend a lot of time in my challenge groups. I just post to it, and I post to my personal page, and I have a morning routine that really works well for me. But then I kind of check into my challenge groups later on in the day, and I communicate with people. So I read what they're posting and I ask questions, and I will privately message people that seem to be struggling or that disappear. I don't have any really set rules in my challenge groups. I'm not like a Jillian Michaels where you have to do this. If this way is my way and the only way, I make it a little bit more flexible and inviting for people to warm up. Because, like, here's for instance, my challenge group this month was a Healthy Moms movement. And they really did not talk for 2 weeks. Like, legit, I was the only one posting for 2 weeks. And it doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. So I just kept posting in it. And finally I went live and I did a video and I said, listen, like, the point of the group is to communicate with each other, and it's much easier to go through it together than to go through it alone. And I did like a 4-minute video, not really calling anybody out, just explaining again what a challenge group was. But then I personally messaged everybody privately, and they were all struggling. And I don't think anybody was comfortable sharing it because, one person had a death in the family. One person was embarrassed to say that they didn't even open their kit yet. And so when I opened that door and I did that video and I said, listen, you guys are all struggling. Like, you've all privately messaged me. Nobody is doing the program right now. We need to talk about this. And now it's finally gaining traction. So I think just, again, patience and giving people time. I know that personal development for me was a game changer, and I didn't actually start personal development until about 10 months into coaching. So I've been coaching for since January of last year. And I was that person that was like, I don't need that. Like, that's lame. I felt kind of happy, like it was not a big deal. But personal development gives me a lot of posting content for social media to gain an audience, because it's real and it's valuable. So when people say, like a lot of coaches, especially when they're new, will say, I don't know what to post about. Well, I think that as a new coach, especially, I have a couple on the call, like you get bombarded by all these opportunities to train, to join a team page, to join a push group, to read this book, to listen to this podcast, to be on Monday night calls. And I feel like there's a book that I read 4 pages of on my summer beach vacation, and it was the best 4 pages I ever read. And the bottom line was, just because you're invited, it doesn't mean you have to go. And I feel like one of the biggest struggles that my new coaches have, and that I remember having, is feeling like you're totally consumed with coaching and you want to learn everything and you can't focus on anything because you're trying to do everything. So I think with personal development, that has helped me focus on like one thing at a time. Like I will read one book, and I will only read that book, and I will talk about it on my page until I'm done with it, and then I'll move on to the next book. And I will only now do one training at a time. So like I'm not doing United Legacies Rise to Diamond. I'm not doing the Like a Boss. I'm not in all these extra groups because it was like so overwhelming. And I think that that's kind of an important message that I've been trying to pass down to my team is, I will share a ton of learning opportunities, but only like attend a call or sign on for a training or do whatever when it applies to your business and what you're struggling with in that moment, because tomorrow your struggle is going to be different and you're going to need to learn something new. But setting those business hours and those parameters on yourself, I think really helps make it more manageable and more fun, because otherwise it's just like you're always on your phone, and like everybody kind of goes through that. So I guess those are kind of like my top things is be patient with people, show who you are, have somebody do a check on your personal page. And if they can't tell you 3 things about you, then you're not sharing enough. Practice essentialism, only join what you need to join, and kind of like reduce the amount of groups that you're in at any given time. So I try to be in like, well, because I'm a team leader, I'm probably in more. But as a new coach, I would say you really only need to be in like 3 groups: your challenge group, your team page, and team legendary. Like, and that's maybe an occasional push group. But I feel like there's a lot of coaches also that get stuck in watching all these trainings, watching all these live videos, and they're not actually doing it. Like it would be like reading Miracle Morning and not actually setting your alarm. Like you have to put into practice what you're working towards. So I think my business is most successful based on my challenge groups. Those are like my my sweet spot. I've never followed a template, so I don't use the Beachbody guide for posting to challenge groups. That was one of the biggest complaints that I've had from people that switched from other coaches to me, was that, wow, your challenge groups are so different. They're not cookie cutter. Like they're not copy and paste, especially because I run graduate groups and I have people go through groups again. So to copy and paste is not offering any value, in my opinion. It helps new coaches to create content, and it's not a negative thing to use those, especially for brand new Beachbody customers. But once you get past month 1, I find using a book is a better resource in a challenge group. So I do like a book club. So 2 months ago, everybody that was in my challenge group read The Compound Effect together and started setting daily goals for themselves in the morning. Like we set 3 daily goals for ourselves. And today and we always addressed the obstacles, not today I will drink my water. I mean, some people did that, but it's more like today I will spend 30 minutes with my kids uninterrupted, not on social media, because I think as parents, and that's typically who I work with, we are so distracted, and then we always feel like we're playing catch up. So when we set goals that are not part of the Beachbody programs, it actually allows people to complete the Beachbody programs and get better results, because we're removing the obstacles that are going to stand in their way when the challenge group is over. So I don't know if that makes sense or that helps anybody. Do you guys have any like specific questions? I can tell you like my power hour or what trainings I'm doing. Yeah, go ahead, Jackie.
I had to unmute. So I just, only because you're on the topic right now with your challenge groups, and you said you don't do them like cookie cutter and copy and paste. Does that mean that every challenge group that you run, are you creating like all new posts like every day?
Mm-hmm.
Or
yep. Okay. It's just, and they're quick. There's not a lot of thought process. It's like sometimes if the group is quiet, I'll throw out a question or a conversation starter. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'll throw in a 5-minute YouTube motivational video link if I feel like the group is kind of in a funk. Here's my thing. When you cookie cutter it, the groups themselves, and you guys can preview like a group if you want to pop in for a day to see what I mean. I feel like when you cookie cutter it, it doesn't let the group evolve on its own. So like I started a graduate group, a smaller graduate group. It's got about 40 people in it now because people keep asking to tag into it. And I have a larger one too. It's about 250 people. The 250 people one, I don't really post in it. I post in it when I want to save something for myself. Like if I see a good recipe, it's kind of like my file folder, I guess. Or I'll just throw out like a random video because I'm feeling ridiculous, and I just kind of connect maybe once a week. It's nothing hard. It's just maintaining relationships. And I invite those people to new programs. So that's why I have that really large graduate group that everybody I've ever worked with has access to. There's no requirements. You don't have to be on Shakeology. You don't have to have a Beachbody account. If you did a challenge group with me, you will always have me in this private group. But again, it's 5 minutes a week that I spend in that group. So not a lot. Mm-hmm. But it's a place for me to re-invite, like for Core to Force or for whatever. So I do have that, but it's not a lot of work. Then I have a smaller graduate group, and that's my book club group. It's for people that really like the challenge groups. Some of them have developed into coaches. Like Jillian is here on the call, and she's one of my she just went Emerald today. Woo woo! And she actually, her sister is a coach. This is what I'll share too. And she didn't feel comfortable working with her sister, so she had to step outside that comfort zone. And we put her into a challenge group, and then she became a discount coach, and now she's actively coaching. And I think it's because the challenge groups evolve, and they're not cookie cutter. So she was able to, we talk about real stuff every day. Mm-hmm. And I don't spend a lot of time creating content. I have an idea of what I want to say, and basically it's just what's going on in my life. And that's why I say use your challenge groups. Like you don't have to create a masterpiece. You don't have to share a recipe every day. Just use them to help you in your health and fitness, and it will naturally kind of evolve into this community for yourself. And so then when I see people that are thriving in the challenge groups, and really I look for people that are kind of co-leading them, that are constantly posting, that are supporting other challengers, that are throwing out their own ideas and their own things that motivate them. And then I will privately message them and say, well, you're already coaching. Because here's the thing too, I know that for me, challenge groups help me stay on track. So it doesn't feel uncomfortable for me to say, oh, I think you should coach, join my team. It's because it's not about me. I just know I can't always be their coach in a challenge group. It's going to get old for them. Just like if you were to do the same like workout for 6 months, it gets old, it gets boring, you don't put the effort in. And when you introduce new people in a challenge group every month, or you give your challengers that opportunity to become a coach and be introduced to new people every month, it only keeps them more accountable and happier and more fulfilled. So I feel like I'm just trying to pass that on and make like a really big splash in the world. And I guess that's kind of like my goal. But yeah, I definitely don't spend a lot of time creating content for challenge groups. It's just who I am. I just talk, I guess.
So it's just on the fly every morning. And then the other part of that is, do you ever have, like, you have your 2 graduate groups,
Mhm.
but do any people ever say, I want to be in your new challenge group, or are your challenge groups only new people?
No, I always bring graduates in.
Okay.
I always bring graduates in. I feel like they add value.
Mhm.
I feel like they deserve it if they want it and they're posting in it. I'm not like a one-time, I mean, the more the merrier. I think that it helps the new people to have extra support. It kind of alleviates me from being the only one talking, and it makes people more comfortable. So I think it's like a revolving door. People check in and out of my challenge groups all the time. And for the brand new challengers, I require a challenge pack because they have to experience the entire program to know if it's going to work for them or not. But I'll run 5-day free groups or 30-day free groups all the time. I will have people that I make exceptions for that maybe can't afford this, whatever the situation is, and I'll pop them into a small graduate group and let them go through a round of 21 with support, because it doesn't cost me anything. Like it's just helping people, and you never know who those people are going to say, hey, like, I am in this challenge group, and it's word of mouth. So it's kind of like free advertising to allow somebody in, and it's just a nice thing to do. So I'm not like, there is room for gray area. I feel like this business, you have to have a gray area, because if you're going to draw a line in the sand, then you're going to draw a line in how far you can grow your business too. So on the flip side though, you do want to make sure that you're aware of your value and you have confidence in your value, because you don't want to be taken advantage of either. Like, a month of a free group is what you get, and then you've seen it. And if you want to join and do the full program, or if you really, really like the groups that much, then become a coach and lead the groups, because that's how you get to sustain the momentum that you build. So, and that's really why I'm putting people into my team page that are not even registered coaches, and I'm just letting them hang out, see what it's like for an undetermined amount of time. Like, it doesn't matter to me. I have no secrets. So I'm, instead of setting up a live event that I have to invite to and coordinate and all of that, popping them into my team page and doing the once a month open Zoom call, it's easier for me. I don't have to coordinate schedule. If on Tuesday I meet somebody that I think would be a great coach, here, come into my team page. This is what we're about. And so I have a lot of great people in my team that keep the team page going too. So I don't know how many people are in your team page, Lauren?
Hang on. I think we're up to like 60 something, but now
Okay.
this is both Amy and my team combined.
Okay. So are you adding all of your discount coaches? What is your not?
I am.
Okay.
I do, because I think that was something I learned early on, that I did not, and I think that I lost a lot of people. I think that I've had people who never have intentions on working the business, but they kind of feel like they're part of an additional community and like a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
And then people just they're like kind of nosy, and they're just like, hey, what's going on? And so I just think that you have longer lasting results with that. So that was just a personal experience, and I shared it with my team. If you have a discount, don't discount anyone. I mean, they sign up the same way we
discount coach.
There you go. Yeah. So that's my feeling.
I also did that. And then when Sarah pulled the discount coaches, when she did the survey and she removed it, and she had her own reasons, and they were very valid reasons, I followed suit, and I felt really awkward about it. Like, messaging people like, hey, are you like going to coach yet? Or it was just, I didn't like it, but I did remove people. And some of them, okay, like, they really weren't interested, and they really didn't even check the team page, and they were like, oh, I'm never even in that. But some people, I feel like maybe they could have evolved into a coach a year from now, or Maybe they just really wanted to be part of a team, and putting them into my team page alleviates me from feeling like I have to run another graduate group. Mm-hmm. So I reopened the opportunity for discount coaches to be added to my big graduate group, right? So there's 250 people in there, and I let them know I'm not super active in it. If you want to be part of something where I'm super active in it, come into my team page. Because I treat the team page very similarly. I don't treat anything business, I guess. I don't post about income very often. I don't post about Success Club very often. I know there's a lot of team pages where the culture is Success Club, and I get it, but I don't feel like that's a welcoming environment for somebody who has no idea what Success Club is and just wants to make sure they don't fall off the wagon. So I try to like balance it, and I try to, and it's just, I mean, it could blow up in my face, but the people know what Success Club is. I have a welcome letter. I can share it with you guys if you want. It's a Google Doc, and it's got like the first 12 things you need to do as a coach. And this is what the income opportunity is. And this is, so everybody that joins the team page gets that welcome letter. And I feel like that's enough of a business introduction so that if and when they're ready to try it, they have that reference point and they can go and do that. But I do talk about Success Club. I recognize my team every week or every other week for whoever's on the board, whoever's hitting Success Club, or whoever's leading the team in Success Club points. So it's talked about enough, but I feel like even my discount coaches are getting value from my team page. And again, my content, it takes me 2 minutes to come up with content. I don't feel like I have to do anything extra because I'm already thinking of these things in my day. So I don't know. Pretty vague advice. Sorry. That's just how I read it.
No, I think that's great. And I think that, yeah, you just don't know what people are thinking, and they're watching, just like, you know, our people following us, like they're just like I was that silent watcher. I watched Sarah for months, stalked her, but honestly, like never liked anything, but I was watching her until one day, you know, she posted about coaching and it piqued my interest because for a long time, I didn't know that was something I could do. So I think it's important to be putting it out there and sharing with people, you know, that this is something that you can join too, whether it's a challenge group or, you know, like I was looking for something different in, you know, job wise.
I was looking and I didn't even know I was looking. So, and Amy asked if she should ask them. Listen, you can stress that they don't have to coach, but that's why I say if you treat your team page almost like a challenge group, then you shouldn't feel scared to ask them to be added. You can just offer it as an additional support. And here's the thing. Okay, can you scram now? You don't even love me that much. I think they just like to see themselves. Mm-hmm. So, hi. Now I don't remember what I was saying. Oh boy. When you add them, here's what I was saying. So I have all these amazing coaches, right? I have all these working coaches. I've got Amanda Yannick and Corinne and Tina and Natalie and all these, and Shannon. I got new coaches and Jillian, and Andrea's not even a coach yet. Andrea can't become a coach until November 1st. She's doing the 6-month waiting period just to join our team. Like, we're going to like be amazing, right? But if I don't invite them to my team page, they can't learn from Amanda Yannick. They can't learn from Corinne. They can't learn from Lauren. They can't learn from Amy. If I try to segregate everybody and be like, these are my challengers, this is my graduate group, and I don't want to share everybody, then like I know that Jillian is being helped by other coaches in my team page now, and they're supporting her physical transformation, and it's one that I didn't have to go through. So now I put her into the team page and it helps her health. So if you create a team culture like that, where you're not only talking about challenge groups, but maybe you're just sharing positivity or motivation, or you do a water challenge in your team page once in a while, you're giving your discount coaches an added value, and it would alleviate that stress. So Amy, yeah, you know what? I ask most coaches. I don't ask everybody because some, like the coaches that don't participate at all in challenge groups, and I private message them and they're like, this just social media isn't for me. I put them in my graduate group, and I do offer them the opportunity, but typically they're like, no, thank you, but I just know that if, again, I go back to how did I come into this? And if Sarah didn't offer this to me, I would be stuck, miserable. And I didn't even know that I was as miserable as I was until I got happy. So I'm not scared to hear no. I'm not scared to hear crickets. I just invite everybody to do everything. I invited the checkout girl at Kohl's. I friended her on Facebook. Like, I just, and actually I didn't even invite her to like a specific. I was just like, are you on Facebook? She was talking about needing a job. So I was like, okay, you have 2 kids. You want to go back to school for nursing. You're already a nurse. You have a good, helpful personality. You're very friendly. And you just like said you'd friend me on Facebook. So we're going to, in my coaching, in my welcome letter, do I tell them what level of coaching they want? Yes, I have I have a video that I filmed like a year and a half ago, and it explains in 2 minutes the levels of coaching. And then it just says, let your sponsor know if it's not me, what level of coaching you're interested in, and we will help you with a getting started right call. So I get on the phone with all my new coaches that are interested. And for the first 30 days, I try to do like a weekly one-on-one call with them if they want it. If they don't want it, that's okay. We work through the team page on a daily basis, and then we do like weekly one-on-ones. But after 30 days, then I kind of push them into the team page and say, listen, like, you're the boss. This is your business. So I can tell you where to find your stuff, but I can't do it for you. You have to learn it just like everybody else. And I think that actually creates more of a sense of ownership when they do it. Like, I'm proud to say I called Coach Relations instead of Sarah. Like, I think that makes me a more independent person. So that's that.
Does anyone have questions? We have 4 minutes, a little over 4 minutes. Karen?
When you bring some of your graduates back into your groups, do you kind of just open it up and say, does anyone want to come in, or do you like privately message them and say, hey, I'd like you to be in my challenge group?
I do. Well, I announce at the beginning of each month what I have coming up. So my large graduate group, I will put out there, okay, I'm going to be opening a book club. Anybody's welcome to participate. Then I also private message people who are, who I enjoy spending time around. If that makes sense, it's kind of selfish, but the people I like, they get personally invited back. Like, if they add value to a group, hang on one second, I'm going to parent my son in front of you. Go take a shower immediately. Okay. Now. Okay. We'll wait for you. I'm here. Does anybody want a 9-year-old? Sorry. I personally invite the people that are like really, that add value. And I do the same thing. All right. So I have another girl that is on her 6-month waiting period. So she's like got 4 months left. She can't register as a coach. And I don't even know if she wants to be a coach, but maybe she does. I think she might. And so I added her to my team page because I think she adds value. Like, she's just creative and helpful and has a really like kind heart and overall. So I will invite people that way too. So I do like a lump post. These are the opportunities. And typically I'll have people sign up for, I'll at least have 10 or 15 people from my grad group, my big one, that will sign up for something like, yes, I need an accountability partner, or yes, I'd like to do a 5-day, like I'm doing a 5-day accountability group for the Challenge du Jour with the launch of Core de Force on Monday. So that's what I'm doing. I opened an event for it, and I have the sneak peek is on Monday, but what I did is I just am running a free 5-day with a prize, and it's a challenge group. And so Tuesday through Friday, it's Challenge du Jour. So that's kind of like a reboot for my grad group, again, doesn't take much time. Like it's just fitness, just a fitness check-in. And it kind of just keeps them feeling like I'm there if they need it. And so I'm kind of like a safety net.
Do you have a theme every month, like with your challenge groups, like book club or?
I do now that I know that I want to work with women and moms. Not that I don't want to work with non-moms. I just find it very easy to communicate with moms on other stuff than Beachbody. And again, that's kind of like where I say the challenge groups have to evolve. And for me to be interested in them, they have to be non-cookie cutter. And those are the people that I talk to. And so I read this, hang on one second, my husband's yelling. I read this book. I can't remember where I heard this quote, but the goal is to work with the people that want what you want. And it's not to hit Success Club 30. I want to work with the people that want the same things that I want out of life, that I enjoy spending time with. And so for me, I now do theme my challenge groups. Like I have the Healthy Mama movement. So I do note in there that anybody can join because I don't want to be like discriminatory. Maybe they want to get pregnant and they can't, or maybe they're a dad, they're a stay-at-home dad. But that's just, those are my people. Those are who I like to talk to. So I feel like I'm selective in who I want to work with just because I want to enjoy my job. I don't want it to feel like work, and it doesn't ever. So
Thank you.
Well, I don't want us to get cut off.
Yeah.
Less than a minute, but thank you so much for taking time and hopping on. Sometimes I wish these things wouldn't end because they go so fast. But can I take a picture of everyone?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'll share, Lauren, I'll
What?
share my Google Doc with you, and you can put it in your team page for my welcome letter
Okay.
team.
That would
And
be
then I
awesome.
also created I created like a welcome letter for challengers. So I'll share that with you too. And you guys can copy and paste it. It's very generic. So.
Okay, awesome. All right.